Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's time for another update on the C and D terminals at LaGuardia Airport as it turns into a world-class facility. Let's go to LaGuardia. I'll start this update with something a little different. Here's a view of the terminals for my flight, which is departing on runway 13. As my airplane becomes airborne, we can see that there has been a lot of progress on the C and D terminals. Old gate areas are gone, and new gate areas are being constructed. The concourse at the very end is called the G concourse, which is the only new concourse that's in use. A look back at the entire airport reveals how much of Terminal B is completed, but there's still a lot of work to be accomplished at Terminals C and D.
Delta 983, counting parts.
93 back.
This still image from just after rotation shows more detail. On the right side, you can see the new concourse at the C terminal under construction. This completely replaces the old concourse that stood in its place. And, on the left, you can see a brand new concourse that has been erected just to the left of the original D gates. For another perspective, here's a view of the new gates at the C terminal taken as my aircraft began to taxi to the runway for departure. From this vantage point, you can get a sense of how big this area is going to be. It's quite a difference from the gates that were once there. Previously, the ceiling was quite low, and this does not seem to be the case in this new concourse. I've got all angles covered in this video update. Here's a view of the same area taken from inside the C terminal by gate C26. I hope you're enjoying this video. If this is your first time on my channel, click the subscribe button and hit the bell button so that you don't miss anything like these frequent updates about LaGuardia Airport. We're now landside to see what anyone who doesn't have a ticket for a flight can see. In my last video, this bridge, which extends from the new head house for Delta Airlines, was only partially built, and now you can see how it's grown in length. Ahead is another extension from the new head house, and unlike the last time I was here, the structure of the building now extends all the way to the black wall of the original C terminal. The road that we're on parallels the passenger drop-off area on the right. In front of us is Terminal B, and as usual, I don't focus on that at all because its progress is very well documented. In order to get to the passenger drop-off area of Terminals C and D, we have to drive back around towards the east. This turn takes us around the parking lot in front of Terminal C, which remains as the only parking lot for the C and D terminals. As we continue, we can begin to see the head house for Delta Airlines as it progresses. It's amazing to see how a space that was used as an uncovered parking lot for decades is now prepping to become the entranceway to the terminal. To get to the departures level, I'll stay to the right. Arriving flights can be met by staying to the left, and the road for arrivals is under the road for departures. We're headed towards the far eastern portion of the airport here, and we'll loop around to the west to get to the C and D terminals. As we turn to the left, Flushing Bay is on the right side. It's not visible here, but you can actually see the bay from the G gates in the D terminal. This road is on the western boundary of what was once the D terminal parking lot. With some traffic on the ramp, I was able to pause to see some of the details and a side view of the head house. Once the traffic eased up, I drove under the bridge for the new G gates, which likely will not become active until the head house is open. Just beyond that is the original entrance to the D terminal, which is hidden behind all of this construction but still in use today. Built in 1982, this terminal is nearing its final days, but it's the only way to get to the D gates as the bridge between the C and D terminals has been removed. To the left is the back end of the head house. This is a huge building compared to the size of the original D terminal building. The new bridge from the head house to the C gates is still developing, and a glass facade is being added. This bridge will lead directly to the new concourse that is also being constructed. As we saw earlier, this construction leads all the way up to the original C terminal, which will eventually be torn down, rebuilt, and connected to the rest of the new construction, which will make LaGuardia Airport truly world-class. This video ends at the passenger drop-off area to the now shortened Terminal C. Inside is a single TSA checkpoint to get to the gates on the western side of the terminal. And that's it for my latest construction update to the east end of LaGuardia Airport. Stay tuned for more videos about the progress of the construction as well as videos about aviation. Thanks for watching.